Please stand as able for our opening song, Get Ready, My Soul.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to the present moment, here to a new beginning, here, and I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. 'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
All right, this morning's connection before content prompt is I recently read about. So you can go ahead and talk about that and greet each other. All right, let's start finding our seats, everybody. Well, good morning, everybody. Check this out. This is from Universal Studios Hollywood. This is a Spinosaurus on the backlot tour, and it's pretty close. That's why I can't get the whole thing in frame. Let me show this online for everybody. So this is when I went to Universal Studios 4 years ago, and that was a great vacation. Yeah. Anyways, as a reminder, you can submit your own photos, and we'll get them into the rotation for Sunday morning lineup. And I'd love to see where you guys go on vacation. We're welcoming pets. You know, if you bake some brownies that you're just really, really proud of, you can submit that picture, and I'll put it up. Welcome to Unity Flagstaff, where all are welcome. If you're a first-time visitor, please feel free to drop a blue info card in the basket or return to a greeter that you met on the way in. Let's get to our announcements. We have the Celebration of Life for Bob Klein coming up Saturday, September 5th at noon. That's also going to have a potluck, and so if you're going to join, please keep that in mind. We have the blood drive coming up, so save the date, Sunday, September 27th. It'll be in the Bloodmobile in the parking lot outside of our space, and they'll be out there from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now you can sign up online through Vitalent, and I have more information about that in the newsletter. This is still a ways out, but the Cancer Support Community Arizona is going to have a walk to remember celebrating their 5 years up here in northern Arizona on October 10th, and we'll put out more details as that gets closer. Just get that on your calendars. It's coming up. Night of Mystery, we're continuing to vote, and looks like we'll have a special announcement. Hang on. Okay, hang on.
Well, hi. I'm calling Candy. I was here last year when we were in Sin City, and let me tell you, I put the sin in Sin City. I was a lady of ill repute. Anyway, along with being in Sin City, here in this very venue, a murder happened. And we had to solve the murder. I was not the murderer, so just saying. Anyway, now we are voting. It's a fundraiser. It's super fun. This year we are voting on going on a cruise ship or going to the circus. And this room will transform into one of those. It's one of our bigger fundraisers of the year. It is a super fun way to socialize and be part of the community here. It costs $25. Raise your hand if you've participated. A bunch of us have. It was so fun, yeah. No lines to memorize. You get a character, but there's really no lines to memorize. You just get an envelope that says, go talk to the captain and tell him, he's cheating on his wife or whatever. You get directions, but it's very easy and super fun. So please join us and sign up and vote in the back for what you want. This has, if you want to know more about each of the mysteries, this has like a character list and just gives you kind of a little background on it. So, and I have one for the circus too. So check it out. Sign up is right back here. It's the sign. We're voting on circus or cruise ship, and the vote is back here. There's no sign up yet because we have to decide what we're doing first.
Thank you. Lastly, you can advertise your business with us. Here's the price for 6 months or a year. And check the okay, before I show you the business slide, I want to tell you something real interesting. I've been working with learning how to use AI tools. And originally I thought I couldn't fit everybody on one slide, but with AI's help, it helped me space it out just right so we could see everybody. And so that's pretty neat. Anyways, there's everybody. Let's give them a round of applause. We're here to support you in affirmative prayer. You can ask a prayer partner if you need help. Prayer partners, if you're in the room, please raise your hands. Prayer partners will be available after today's service at the Serenity Room. You can call 1-800-NOW-PRAY for 24/7 prayer support. We have a prayer box. Michael, you around? All right, we got a prayer box over there. You can write in your prayers, and we'll hold them in consciousness for 30 days. You can also contact the center here at 928-526-8893 by call or text, and I'll make sure your prayer requests get to the prayer team. And now let's open up. Well, let's start with opening prayer with Marcia Wiesner. She's a board secretary, prayer partner, volunteer, and friend. Here you go, Marcia.
And a new cat mother. I have no idea. Anybody who wants to volunteer to come like 15 minutes early and knows how to make coffee, you can do it. All right. Okay, I'm gonna thank Sharon Salzberg, who's a venerable American Buddhist teacher, for this. So, if you want, you can settle in, get ready for prayer. Close your eyes if you wish, or you could just put a relaxed gaze down and let the breath come to you. We may have really big goals for ourselves, spiritual goals. We may want to be enlightened. We may want to stop doom scrolling. We may want to be kind to people who don't believe the same politics that we do. And we may fail at some of that. But we can come back to it. The losing it and the coming back is all part of a good process. Even in losing it, we are still a part of God. Nothing is outside of spirit. And so it is. Okay, so we have Steve, can you write down any prayers that come up? Thank you. Thank you. All right. I suppose I ought to be looking at this. Yes. Okay, does anybody have a gratitude or a prayer request or a celebration?
Since no one else raised their hand, or at least I didn't see it, I am going to start asking for prayers to find a place to live that's on one level. I have an old knee injury. Its right knee has been injured many times, and where we live has extremely steep stairs.
As I know.
Yeah, you've experienced that. And so my prayer is that within, I'm hoping about a year, next year, we can find a one level, comfortable, very suitable, and affordable place for us to live.
All right. Thank you. We you aren't asking for much. But what I want to say is that is totally within spirit and within you to find that. We support you in that need, and we see you getting just what you need. Anybody else? Sean.
I'll just talk from back here at the AV station. um, so after I hurt my back earlier this year and have been recovering, been more active and changing diet, things like that. Finally had a breakthrough. It was kind of funny. I was at home and I got up to do some chores and my shorts just dropped to the ground. And I said, okay. So I pulled them up and they wouldn't stay up. So now I've lost enough weight. I need to wear a belt to keep anything up. So I'm thankful for that.
All right.
Yeah, yes, I bet you're thankful I'm wearing a belt.
We support you in wearing a belt. We support you in your weight loss journey. I think that is just the best thing, that any of us can do for back issues. So bless you on that.
Okay, I'm going to chime in here. I would like prayers for my daughter is going to be moving in with me and living with me by the end of September. And I'd like prayers that this is a beautiful time for the two of us to be together and know each other better.
All right. Well, in expressing that prayer, you're halfway there. So any of us who express prayers here are putting it into action, and we support you in that.
My dad, Stephen Selman, has Alzheimer's and he's in a memory care unit. And he appears to me to be pretty over medicated. And I would love prayers in support for him and support for him getting the best care possible.
All right. And we hear that comes from a great deal of love and knowledge of what your father is capable of at this time. So we support you in that support of your father. Anyone else?
I ask for prayers and support. I've been losing a lot of sleep over this one case I have for work. I'm representing a Hopi woman who's facing eviction. The housing authority is trying to evict her from the home and then she's been living on for 19 years. And to me, unjustly, I'm representing her and fighting the eviction. And basically, she just wants to stay in her home. I mean, she thought she was in a rent-to-own situation where she would have the opportunity to own her home after 15 years, but the housing authority continues to accrue rent, and now they've actually filed to have her evicted and her family. So it's full-blown litigation, and unfortunately, the attorney on the other side is not very easy to work with. He's in my opinion, he's part of the problem. He's not Hopi, the Pahana guy, he's the white guy.
Mhm.
And anyway, I mean, I'm doing everything in my power to, as an attorney to help her stay in her home. And under Hopi culture, I mean, she should have that right, but I don't know. It's actually a case that's been keeping me up at night. It's been taking a lot of energy out of me. But thank you.
Thank you for bringing that to us. Are you willing to share her name?
Well, her name. Well, she's a traditional Hopi woman.
Mhm.
She's a First Mesa, but it's my client.
Okay. All right. I understand that. Um, I think what I'd like to support you with in prayer is a knowledge of your own abilities, an idea that there's work to be done with the prosecuting attorney, with the opposing attorney, and that this will come out in the very best way for your client. So we are supporting you in that in prayer. Thank you for bringing it up, Susan. Anything else? These are some prayers that we've had here. So we collectively affirm with you and those that you pray and celebrate with that the presence of God is in all things and it is the one power. We're grateful for the power of prayer and the news that you have shared with us. And so it is, and so we let it be.
There she is.
There she is. The other you.
There's Colleen Candy in all her glory.
And yes, we totally planned that out.
Good morning. Since I heard that the topic was transformation and resistance, I found this daily word from January 24th, 2014 about that very topic. I thought it was perfect. Transformation is only a thought away. How do I respond to change? And I think I need this one too as I was reading it. How do I respond to change? Am I quick to resist it, or does acceptance come naturally to me? Self-awareness and acceptance are spiritual tools I can use to shift my reaction when change occurs. As I meditate, I become aware of the sensations in my body. Tightness or pain may be a sign of resistance. I acknowledge any feelings and allow myself to fully feel them. I am gentle and accepting of whatever comes. With self-awareness comes personal choice. I realize that I can choose how to respond to events and changes. I am not powerless. Seeing the situation from a higher perspective, I learn to accept what is with awareness. I learn to accept what is with awareness and peace. And from Psalms 139, chapter 23 and 24, search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my thoughts, and lead me in the way everlasting. There you go. And now by the way, we are looking for platform assistance. So if you find something inspiring in your week and you want to share it with the group, sign up, talk to me. We have a sign up. You can do this whenever you want. So we need platform assistance. That being said, our unity principle. Number 2, let's say it together. Human beings are divine at their core and therefore inherently good. And the short version, be good. I like it. And now I'm going to call up Cynthia Hull, who is doing our meditation today. Thank you, Cynthia.
All right. Can you hear me? Everybody get comfortable in their seats. Maybe put your feet flat on the ground and start taking a few slow, deep breaths. You might want to close your eyes because I'm going to take you into a visualization. As you breathe in, breathing deep down into the bottom of your lungs, imagine that you're breathing in love and light. And as you breathe out, you're releasing any cares, worries, stress.
Just let it go. Take another deep breath in. Release. And as you allow yourself to become very relaxed, imagine that you're in a very safe place, in something like a cocoon or a bubble, and you're surrounded by a soft blanket of comforting energy. It's as if you're in a womb or a cocoon. In this place of serenity and comfort, think of something you would like to manifest in your life. It could be more love, an adventure, companionship, or a deepening of spiritual awareness. Give yourself a minute to connect with this thought of what you would like to manifest. Now, see a beautiful, healing, brilliant light filling your orb or cocoon. It becomes brighter, healing, filling you with its brilliance. You feel that you are surrounded and filled with love. And as this light fills you, you see your cocoon splitting open. You feel alive and free, and you allow yourself to fly forth into the manifestation of your dream. Now, as you breathe, allow yourself to slowly come back into the room, feeling optimistic and at peace.
Today's guest speaker will be Steve Dohse, but we're not ready for him just yet. Also, check that out. This is going with the Night of Mystery theme. What year was that, Steve? All right. Well, that was a couple of years ago. I need. You should have wore that when you were doing your Clint Eastwood talk. All right.
Ooh.
let go of the shore, float into the mystery. You have all you need, it's all inside of you. Just close your eyes and breathe and know that you are safe. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. No need to make a plan, your heart will be your compass. Lift your sails in faith and trust that you will arrive. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Float into the mystery. Float into the mystery. Let go. Float. Float. Let go. Float. Let go. Float.
That was nice, wasn't it? All right, Mr. Steve, you're up. Here's your mic. Turn around.
Thanks. Thanks. Thank you. All right. How's everybody? Good. I'll ask you again at the end of my message just to make sure. How you all doing? I'm good. I'm well. Man, I'll tell you what. Good job, everybody, on what you brought concerning the message today. The message is actually resistance and transformation. And just what you brought was awesome when it comes to the meditation. What you brought was awesome when it comes to sharing whatever it was. Inspired moment, yeah. That song was amazing. What you brought was amazing. It was all really part of my message, which is great. So we're all together on this resistance and transformation. And when the cocoon opened up for me, you know, you said you can just fly forward. Everybody remember that? The cocoon part? And this is how I went. Like a superhero or something. Or I didn't flap. Anyway. So, you know, this message today, really the title can be Resistance is the Beginning of Transformation. That's really what my mode is as far as the way that I'm speaking resistance and transformation today, is that resistance can be the beginning of transformation. And I want everyone to know that I'm going to lay out what I believe are some principles that have worked for me in my life when it comes to reality and change and resistance and transformation. These are things that have worked in my life a few different times, very powerfully in my life. But I also want to say that what I'm about to lay forth is not absolute, it's not necessarily an absolute for you. Transition, resistance and transformation can look different for everyone. How many hear what I'm saying? And so when I give a formula or a path, if you will, of what I believe how it has worked for me and how it can work for you, it doesn't mean that it's an absolute and you have to go by that, all right? And, not too long ago, we were at a restaurant and my son was there, and his son, my grandson, said something, and my son said, "Where'd you hear that?" And River, my grandson, said, "Grandpa said it." And my son said, "Well, just because Grandpa said it doesn't mean it's true." I wonder at what age he realized that. But I'm glad he did. So I believe what I'm sharing today, there is a lot of truth to it. Maybe there might be some fundamental, absolute truths. I don't know if there's absolute truth. Does anybody know if there's absolute truth? You do. Are you absolutely sure? That's what somebody said. There is no absolute truth. And I said, are you absolute about that? So, but anyway, so this is kind of the layout of what I want to share today. And it's resistance is the beginning of transformation. And so here are the 5 steps that happen. Resistance comes. It can come in different forms, but the first is resistance. The next thing is acknowledging that you're in resistance. Okay? The next one, number 3, is accepting what maybe the reality is and that what you're resisting. Accepting it. Okay, there's a difference between acknowledging it and accepting it. Can you hear me? Okay? So there's resistance. There's acknowledging that you're in resistance. There's accepting I'm in resistance to this. It may be change. It may be an actual reality. And the fourth thing, which I'm going to give a little disclaimer on as we go through it, is so resistance, acknowledgement, acceptance, which is not always easy. Experience it fully is the fourth thing. Okay? And then transformation is the end result. Okay? So that's kind of the premise of where I'm going today. Now, I also want to start out by saying there is resistance that is absolutely good. And if you follow my message, even the resistance that I'm talking about ends up being a good. But there's resistance that's good. You're resisting something that is not for you at all and is maybe coming against you or is not what you support in life, and you resist that, and that is a good thing to continue to resist. How many hear me? And I'm in agreement with that, and that's not the kind of resistance I'm talking about, okay? There's resistance that rises up that can come in the form of fear, but that fear actually can be a very good thing in your life too, because it could be protecting you. Are you with me? So resisting something out of fear can be a good thing, all right? And, there's a Bible verse that says fear is the beginning of wisdom, okay? So sometimes fear is coming and it's meant to be there because it's producing wisdom in your life of something not to do or how to do or whatever, okay? So I'm not talking about that resistance either, but that's a good resistance to have in many situations, okay? And that you need to have, okay? So I'm talking about a resistance that's actually maybe not really serving you, okay? And you're resisting a reality in your life, and in that resistance, you are experiencing stress, and you're experiencing something that's going on, that is maybe even causing depression, or in some way this resistance that I'm talking about is not serving you, okay? And so I'm talking about resisting something that actually is reality maybe in your life, okay? And your resistance isn't helping you get through or get to what you need in life to be, a successful or strong or, empowered in your reality. Are you with me? Okay? I hope I'm making sense. So I'm going to tell a story about my life, okay? Many of you know that I was Christian teacher, Christian pastor in town, and right here in Flagstaff. And for 20 years, I was a youth pastor to begin with. Had so much fun being a youth pastor. Became a pastor. Had a lot of fun with it, and it's just where I was in life. I found God through Christ. That's how it was introduced to me. I've kind of morphed over time, but this is part of my story today about resistance and transformation. Is I was pretty good at being a pastor, pretty good at being a preacher and all of that. But all the while, I could not preach on the heaven and hell thing that, traditional Western Christianity was all about, okay? And I was in a denomination that was all about heaven and hell. And so you would give an altar call for people to get saved from hell and go to heaven. Okay, are you with me? And can I hear an amen? No, don't give me an amen on that. Okay, so I had a hard time preaching that, okay, because my experience of Jesus and my experience of God and all of that was just based on love and transformation, love and power, love and healing, okay, grace, okay, for people who are struggling. That was and the whole hell thing never really settled with me, okay. There were a few times that I gave that altar call under pressure because people were saying, you need to give altar calls, blah, blah, blah. And there were a few times that I gave that altar call, and I felt like it was under pressure. I didn't feel like I was really being true to myself. Can I hear an amen on that? And so I wasn't very good at giving that altar call because I kind of wasn't, there just wasn't a lot of sincerity there. And then when I did do it, using words that I didn't really agree with, I was, upset at myself. I was depressed about it. I was stressed about it, okay? So the other thing that I just couldn't see real clear was this whole devil thing being against us and devil being against God, and just all the while, I was just always like, in my heart, I was like, well, God's in charge of everything. So, this devil thing, I don't get it. And so I came to a place one day where I'm like basically praying, and I'm asking God, and I'm saying, hey, you're asking me to forgive and love everyone, but it looks like you're not going to do the same yourself. And, and all of a sudden I just had a wash over me, okay? And it was like I was confronting God. How many know I was confronting what was in me? There was a battle inside me, because I was so blessed, if you will, by a lot of the other stuff that came with Christianity. I was so empowered by a lot of the other stuff that came with my denomination and the things that I was, the river I was flowing in, There was so much awesome, good things that I was enjoying, but there was just always this struggle. So I confronted God about it, and I just felt a wash over me of something that I felt like I already knew as my truth. And the words that came to me was basically, that's not who I am. Okay? Everybody say, I am. How many know the I am is in us? Okay? That's not who I am. And I felt like the I am, if there is such a thing, was saying that's not who I am. And it came in such a way that I was like, oh, I knew it. I was basically going, hell and heaven, and that's not who I am. The devil and God, and the devil's against God, and the devil's against us, that's not who I am. I knew it. Okay? And then I actually felt like I actually felt in this time of prayer that God was saying, you know, search it out, even in the scripture. So I started a long study of scripture, of what these words that talked about hell and the devil and all this really actually, I did deep studies in Greek and some in Hebrew for like 4 years. I studied it, and so here's the crazy thing. Even though I got the revelation, I was afraid to speak it. I was resisting speaking my truth. And the reason why I was resisting it was because I was afraid of what would happen if I did. I was afraid of the unknown of what would come if I started saying, no, hell is not what we have always been talking about. No, the devil's not the devil's not that. I was afraid, even though I knew it in my heart 100%. I was afraid of what would happen, okay, if I spoke the reality. I was resisting what I think was the reality. Well, what's going to happen, Well, I could lose my job. How many know I'm afraid of losing my job and my finances? Yeah. I'm going to lose friends. Come on. I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose my identity, okay, of who who everybody thinks I am, okay? I was fearful and anxious about all of that, to the point where I still would not speak my truth because I wanted to keep the love and the tithes and the offerings coming. Come on. And how many know there was a major struggle going on in me? I could not speak, so I was resisting. I was just resistance, and that resistance was causing anxiety. That resistance was causing depression. That resistance was causing, weakness in me. Okay. And so, I finally, somehow I realized that I've got to, I've got to accept, I've got to acknowledge that I'm in absolute resistance, and I've got to accept, the reality that this is my reality and I'm not living it. And I'm not living my truth. I'm not being my authentic self. And so so then this part about experiencing it fully, this is where it came in for me. What's going to happen if I share the truth? Yes, I am going to lose my job, most likely. Okay. I could very well just completely lose my job. Okay. Now, I'm in my late 40s by this time. I know you all thought I was in my late 40s right now. No. This is 20 years ago. So I'm in my late 60s right now. But and at that time of life and everything that I've built with my family and everything that's going on, it was a really tough decision. Okay, are you with me? But I was like, I have to experiencing this fully. What's it gonna fully be like? Okay, I could lose my job. Okay, I could lose my friends. Okay, I could lose my identity, okay? But somehow and this is the part that I want to throw out at you guys, that there is something about facing it full on and experiencing it fully that has the power to bring the transformation. Are you with me? There's something about accepting a full-on reality. And now this is where I want to make a disclaimer. You may be resisting something in your life, and really you can't experience it fully. It's not time for you to experience it fully. You may need counsel and guidance and a real safe place to experience what you're resisting fully. Can you hear me right now? So I'm not saying that this is like if you put this process to be, it's going to happen overnight for you or whatever. So this took time for me, and it could be, there could be trauma in your life that you're resisting looking at. Okay, are you with me? And I understand that. And I'm not expecting you to just go dive right in and experience it fully, because you may not be ready for that, and it may not be the thing that needs to even happen. The resistance may need to stay there in some form for you. Come on. That's why I'm saying it's not an absolute, okay? And so I hope I'm explaining that very well to you. But what happened with me was all of a sudden I was like, I could lose my job. I get to get another job, or I'll do another job, or I'll still do ministry, or whatever this is called, but in a different way. Okay? And I could lose my friends. But if they're going to not befriend me because of this, then maybe they're not my friends anyway. Come on. And, I can create my identity based on my authentic self. Okay? And so somehow in the midst of me going through this process of all this resistance and acknowledging it and accepting it, this is my reality. Oh, this is my reality. When I accepted it, it's like, this is my reality. I suck. I'm not being truthful to what I really believe. Come on. I'm not being authentic. And so, and what does all this mean to me? What does all of it mean to me? If I'm going to put it into one word, what could it very well mean? Death. Okay? That was the first thing of experiencing it fully. Experiencing, if I'm going to let go of this resistance and accept my reality, it meant death in many ways. Okay? But at the same time, in the midst of that, and this is where I'm talking about when you go into accepting, and I know this is a major Buddhist teaching, actually, of accepting what is really reality, and embracing it, there's empowerment that comes. So at the same time that I was experiencing, yes, it's going to be death, I'm experiencing resurrection. Can I get an amen? I'm experiencing death and resurrection at the same time in the midst of this thing that I've been resisting and going through for so long. And let me tell you, I fought it for a long time. I fought it for a couple of years at least, and then I started kind of leaking it out to people who I thought I could trust, and one evening I was speaking at a place, and I was kind of skirting the edge of hell is not what they say we thought it is, and this one person who knew what I believed, sitting in the back row, she goes, "Oh, why don't you just come out and tell us what you really think?" That happened, and it was forced on me, if you will. You know what I mean? And so in my resistance, I went, "I will. But tonight I'm just talking about this." So everybody wondered. So shortly after that is when I came to my acceptance and experiencing it. And I'm ready to dive into, accepting this fully, that there has to be a change. I have to embrace change. I have to accept the change. How many know change is inevitable? Right? And this is my story, and this is just one thing that happened. I mean, for you, it could be happening in relationships. It could be happening in, and you're resisting, things that are going on in your life, and it's causing stress. And can I say this? It was causing more stress than I even knew that it was causing in my being. Are you with me? It was causing change in my reality, and in how I operated with people, and what was happening even internally in my body, my mind, and my being. And so sometimes this resistance can be a lot more impactful than you even know it. But when I was able to break free and there was a transformation moment, so much of that, my body felt like it lifted. Are you with me? My body got lighter. My joy was returned to me in a way that I hadn't experienced for a while, okay? And the fact that I was able to be my authentic self and speak my truth was so enlightening, and enlightenment, as you will, in my life, okay? And so Whew. How many hear what I'm saying today? Yeah. So, you know, my fear caused me, um, as I've said, to not be my authentic self, to speak my authentic truth. My fear was, what is life going to look like? And in the transformation time, my fear turned to, what do I get to make my life look like? Are you with me? I went from a place of following something and being led by something instead of leading and making my path myself. Are you with me? Huge for me at the time. And I came to a place where instead of something else being the author of my life, that I now began to understand that I am, say it with me, I am the author of my life. And I knew that I get to write the next page, the next chapter, starting right now. Can I hear an amen? That was the transformation, man. That was so huge. You're writing your story. Not some formula, not some religion, not what the masses say, not what this party says, come on, not what that party says. Are you with me? You're writing your story. You're writing your truth. I changed political parties too. I know. And I still don't speak my truth 100% to everybody I'm talking to. Are you with me? Because I also understand, and this is important with the message I'm sharing today, because I made some mistakes in sharing my truth. When I broke free, woohoo! I made people feel like foolish. I was arrogant in my truth. Come on. I was. Because all of a sudden I was like, nah, devil's not that way. No, hell's not that way. You're an idiot. Come on. And I wasn't saying those words, but I was coming across that way in some circles. Come on. And I can think in political stuff going on right now that this person is just absolutely so foolish and this person's an idiot and all this kind of stuff. But how is it going to help me if I'm sharing my truth when they're not really ready for my truth? Come on. And how can I bring it in such a way that just maybe causes curiosity or question instead of dogmatism? Are you with me? And so I was coming across dogmatic with my new truth. And let me tell you, my new truth, I don't know if it's true. And I am open, okay? I know what I believe. I know what I feel in my heart. I know how I'm rolling. But I don't know if that I'm absolutely true about everything, politically wise, religion wise, any of it wise. I'm still very curious of how it all really should be and how it is. Come on. And I find more empowerment in being open and not knowing that I know and being curious than walking in a place where I think I know. And so I share that with you today, that if that happens to you in a dramatic way, to not be dogmatic about what you now think is true. Okay? And so I'm just going to take a moment just to pause for a moment and I just want to ask you, is there something that you're resisting today? And is it something that maybe that resistance is trying to tell you that it's leading you into a transformation, that there's transformation for you in this resistance? And only you could know what that is, okay? And just asking you the question today, and asking you to be brave enough to just, look at it and acknowledge it, and the acceptance and the experiencing fully, that's on your time. That's in your way, and it doesn't even always have to happen exactly like I've been speaking it today, but at least, like I am in resistance. And sometimes it could be just in aging. It could be toward death. It could be in a relationship, whatever it is. But you're acknowledging I'm in resistance to what's happening here, and that it really is my reality. And I accept that it's my reality. And I want to know. I want to experience fully what change would look like, and that's where I believe there's empowerment, you guys. But at the same time, you know, do it at your speed, do it at your level, do it with your with in safe place, do it with strength and with your with even guidance if you need it. So I just leave that with you today. Is there an area of resistance that's not serving me? And there needs to be transformation. Okay? All right. Yeah. I wanted to take just a moment or two. We have time, right? For any feedback. Now, there was one time where I did this, and this one person was here in this place, and they began to give a whole nother sermon. That's not the kind of feedback I'm looking for. But I would like, if anybody has any thoughts or one-liners to share that can add value to this message, or just even another opinion or something, I would like to hear that right now. If there's anybody that has, or a question, or something that you would like to share, I'd like to open it up today. Yes.
For me today was marvelous. I feel that I've been experiencing things that you brought up here today, and I'm afraid to speak out, and I just keep burying it down and down. So I feel now that maybe I can very politely and kindly express my feelings rather than always, okay, okay. So I thank you so much. You've helped me. And
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. If I wouldn't have changed in my way and religion, I wouldn't be here with you guys today. Loving you guys. I really wouldn't. I just still think you guys were weird. But go ahead. Yeah. Now I'm weird. Yes. Thank you for that, Laura.
Thank you. This is a great message. So I had a similar journey. I was the granddaughter of a Lutheran minister, and my family was very Christian, very religious, and I went through a similar journey of resistance, and eventually found unity. And I still haven't completely spoken my truth to my dad, but you know what? He's 89, and I kind of have come to accept that. It would only bring fear to him if I were to express my full truth of what I believe to him. It would just bring fear to him, and it would not improve our relationship. It would not improve my peace of mind. It wouldn't improve his. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with knowing who I am, and I don't like you were saying. You don't have to put it in everybody's face. It's okay to know who you are, and I can still have a relationship with my dad, being who he is. So
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. Yes. I will say this also. When I finally did speak my truth and come out with my real authentic self that I had been all along, I was just afraid to share or say, right? But when I finally did start sharing it, so many people were like, thank you. We felt the same way. We relate to what you're saying. The pastor came to me in town and said that same thing. So many, and so I know Unity is an amazing, actually, transition place for Christians who, feel like they're in a dogmatic, hardcore Christian faith, you know, or whatever. So I'm thankful for unity in that way too, because I believe it's really been a help for a lot of people in that way. And I'm very thankful that, you know, that I set other people free, actually. I actually set other people free with my with my truth. You know what I mean? And of course, it's a truth that's been out there forever. It just became my truth. You know, it's something you guys have always known. You know what I mean? That stuff's ridiculous. I don't know why it took me 20 years to figure it out. It really didn't, but it took me 20 years, or it took me a long time to you know, make that change. Okay, anybody else? Yes.
Well, the only comment I have on resistance is the sentence, what you resist persists. And that's been, you know, with me for a long time because I used to always resist exercise. And when I gave up resisting, it became not bad.
Yeah, exercise is a good kind of resistance. Yeah. Yes. Right on. Right on. Yeah, and I actually have that written down. What you resist persists. You know, it's a known thing. I just didn't say that today. Anybody else today? Yeah, Steve.
Um, I guess I wanted to share this. I had an experience recently. So my dad passed away almost a couple of years ago, and my stepmom and that family had a memorial service for him. And the minister that they had do the memorial service really didn't know my dad, really didn't do much research about him. And my stepsister knew this guy, and so it was not, didn't seem real appropriate to me. And so here's a couple years later, my stepmom decided to have a military burial for his ashes up at the Santa Fe National um, Cemetery. Thank you. That's the word. So she invited me to that, but she said, you know, my dad and she and my dad went to religious science church for a while, and would you say something? So it was kind of cool. I was not a military guy, but I appreciated what they do. And I got to quote something from Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes' theory about the spiral of the soul. And it fit with my dad's philosophy. But anyway, it was neat to be able to do that because this family is pretty much Catholic, Christian. I'm in this military thing, which was not familiar to me, but it's like it just all went perfect.
It's freeing, isn't it? Yeah. It's liberating. Yes. How many know I lost my job? How many know I lost a lot of friends? Really, truly. I mean, people. I wept. I cried over it. I had breakdowns over it. Okay, that's how intense it was. But at the same time, I had absolute liberation because of it, and freedom because of it, and empowerment because of it. Right on. So, yeah, I'm gonna close by saying that it's okay to if you're feeling like there is resistance somewhere, you know, like you're in resistance in areas, it's okay to ask the resistance, what are you trying to tell me? Right? And that's based on, are you trying to tell me it's time to, you know, let go? You know? Who can I get? Who can I get? Steve, I'm going to use Steve. Steve, could you just press against me right here? Just, yeah, press, I mean, yeah, get stable. Yeah, there we go. Come on. Just, how's that feel?
Not too good.
That's what I thought. How's it feel now? Better, yeah. And then there's also another part. There's also another part where do it again. Do it again. Okay, come on, push, man, push. Oh, that was on purpose, and I was hoping that I would fall to the ground because sometimes you can just let go, and it will just fall to the ground.
We
And
don't have enough insurance for that.
Amen. We don't have insurance. Okay, but there's something miraculous about that, and I can't really explain the spiritual miraculous part. But there's something, and again, it's not anything that's being forced on you today, but there's something about a moment of letting go that brings absolute freedom and change. And there have actually been people who go to counseling and, they've had this trauma or they've had something in their life that they resist even looking at. Come on, because it's so hurtful and so painful, so traumatizing. But they're guided through it, and there comes a moment where they're able to let it go, and then it never is there again. I mean, and sometimes it's still there again, but they don't see it as that anxiety and that stress anymore. It's still there or whatever, but you understand what I'm saying? And sometimes there's just that letting go that makes that happen. So you can just ask your resistance if there is any today. All right, how are you serving me? What are you here for? Is it about transformation, or is it a good thing that I keep this here in my life? Okay? All right. Bye.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you gotta let it go, let it all go. And this is what you have to say: I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God, and no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, I release what? Let the Spirit dwell. Oh, in my heart. Yes, I'm only. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for that. Oh, I release what? Let the Spirit. Oh, when my. Yes, I'm only. No more struggle. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for what? God. And God is love. I share. Special music.
We haven't done one of these in a while. Let's do our State of the Unity. I'll be brief. We got lots of updates. So what's the plan for the new minister? Well, Sabrina Johnson will start on September 20th. We have welcome events planned, and we will get those details out soon. How are we doing spiritually? We are ready with open minds and hearts for the new minister. And what's coming up? We've got Bob Klein's Celebration of Life. We're going to be welcoming Sabrina. We got Blood Drive coming up, Night of Mystery. How can you support Unity Flagstaff? Please continue volunteering time, helping during events, bring your friends and others to service, financial giving, and bring me creative ideas to help grow Unity. And bring them to Sabrina too. She's got a lot of ideas, which I think are fantastic, that are coming down the pipeline, and she would love to interact with you all more. And what's our financial standing? Well, we saw a summer drop due to travel and other commitments, and we are trending back to normal. Check this out. Boom. Last time we were down here when I did a check-in, and we're back up to about normal. So thank you, everyone, for your continued support. And I want to give everybody on YouTube a special shout out, too, because Unity of Flagstaff would not be possible without viewers like you. Your viewing support, your financial support, you, too, are a part of this community. Now, let's do our celebration of abundance. I get my basket folks up here, and we'll all meet up front. Okay. And Marilyn is today's board basket. Bless her. Come on up front, Marilyn. There you go.
Okay. And our board consciousness for abundance is, and say it with me, please. We are an abundant and thriving community.
Now, bless the baskets.
We release our limitation and give from abundance. Thank you, Spirit.
And go forth. I'm here to remind you about ways to give. You can do cash or check. We have an option for Zelle. The QR code is in the newsletter and on our website. You can give directly towards our investment account. If you'd like to do so, let me know. And you can send mail into our P.O. Box 1740, Flagstaff, Arizona 86002. And that is checked regularly, so you don't need to worry about money hanging out there. All right, if everyone will join me. Thank you for this bounty. Thank you for this community. Thank you for the good we do and will do. We are joy-filled, and so it is. Please stand as able for our closing. We're going to do the first half of Get Ready, My Soul.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to the present moment here, to a new beginning here, and I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm driving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul.
If everyone will join me in the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. Claim the light. The love of God enfolds us. Claim the love. The power of God protects us. Claim the power. The presence of God watches over us. Claim the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Create an amazing week, everyone. Thank you.